Could Adelaide's property boom be creating a new wave of real estate jobs? This week, we are joined by Simone Christensen, Human Resources Business Partner from Unity Housing Company, to unpack what Adelaide's growing property market looks like on the ground and how increased market activity is flowing through to hiring demand across South Australia. Also on today's show, we'll look at the state of the job market. Is temporary hiring becoming a real-time signal of employer confidence? And lastly, are you looking to grow your real estate or property career? We have 3 new hot jobs we are hiring for right now across South Australia. Welcome to the Property Edge, Edge Recruitment's comprehensive look into the latest trends impacting the property and real estate market across South Australia. I'm Peta Seaman, Managing Director here at Edge Recruitment. Jumping straight into it today, is Adelaide's property boom now creating a job boom too? A recent report from realestate.com.au has stated that more than 200 real estate and property related roles are currently advertised across South Australia, with agencies, property managers and developers looking for talent to keep pace with demand. For employers and job seekers, this points to a property employment market that is still moving even while other parts of the economy remain cautious. It raises an important question: where is hiring activity strongest right now? What skills are most in demand? And how should both businesses and candidates be responding to the opportunities opening up across the sector? To discuss this further, we are joined today by Simone Christensen, Human Resources Business Partner for Unity Housing Company. Hi, Simone.
Hi, Peter.
Welcome. So to get started today, can you tell us a bit about yourself and Unity Housing Company?
Absolutely. So, as you said, my name is Simone. I'm the HR business partner here at Unity Housing. Been with Unity Housing for just over 3 years and operate in the community housing sector.
Fantastic, thank you. Can you give us a quick snapshot of what you're seeing across Adelaide's property market right now?
Absolutely. I think from our perspective, the increased activity in the property market has a real flow-on effect on the community housing sector. We know that we compete with the private sector when it comes to those talent pipelines. Yeah. A lot of our talent comes from the same people, in particular in that sort of asset management, maintenance, development, tenancy management world. And what we're seeing is a market where that's very hot, that's for sure. There's a lot of opportunities out there at the moment.
Definitely competing for talent is a big challenge here in South Australia at the moment. When we talk about a property boom, what does that actually look like on the ground day to day? And are your clients moving differently? Are agencies busier or expectations changing?
Absolutely, great question. As I just mentioned, we do see a really that flow-on impact on community housing when we see these booms in the private sector. In the private sector, what we are experiencing from the outside is that those organizations are able to offer higher salaries, are really getting competitive on the money. And that really leads into like a bit of a pipeline that maybe is drying up.
Yeah.
It creates increased pressure on our internal teams as well, because the demand for affordable and social housing increases when we see this as well. So we need more people. There is less people. That's really what we're seeing in that market. Retention becomes critical. Essentially, that's where we're focusing for sure.
Yeah, fair enough. Reports suggest there are now more than 200 property related roles advertised in South Australia. What does that tell us about how this market growth is translating into employment demand?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a growing market that doesn't seem to be stopping. It these 200 property related roles really demonstrate a market growth that is
Yeah.
directly translating into a strong employment demand. It
Mm.
highlights that war on talent that we talked about maybe 4 or 5 years ago,
Yeah.
and that has never stopped in the property sector essentially.
Yeah.
It's been a constant. It's a candidate's market, as we say at the moment. People have a lot of opportunities. That on top of a housing crisis that is increasing the pressure across my sector, at least,
Yeah.
creates a really, really interesting environment to navigate in.
Mm.
Yeah.
Definitely sounds like a challenging candidate market for you, which doesn't help when you're needing to hire people. What do you think is driving Adelaide's property boom, and does this feel sustainable or more like a short-term spike?
I think it's here to stay. There's a lot of property development going on. We know that Adelaide, or South Australia in general, there's growth in the state. So I can't see this go away in any shape or
Yeah.
form. I think it's important for all organizations in this space to really start focusing on those long-term candidate pipelines, and where are these people going to come from?
Mm.
From our perspective, I think we start thinking about alternative ways. Essentially, can we upskill people instead?
Yeah.
Hiring for the right abilities, the right attitudes. What are some of the skills we can give people coming into this sector? Because the demand is simply so high at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. With growth creating more demand for talent, what opportunities and challenges are opening up for both employers and job seekers in the real estate sector?
Great question. I can't talk for the private sector, but
Mm.
what I'm seeing in community housing is a willingness to give it a go,
Mm.
try something new, do something else we haven't done before, trying new upskilling programs, bringing people in who might not have the full suite of skills
Yeah.
that we need in a role. So I think from a candidate point of view right now, this market is actually a really interesting place to be.
Mm.
Um, because if you come in with the right attitude around it, you can get ahead fairly fast,
Yeah, absolutely.
um, which I'm assuming is happening in the private industry as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We're definitely seeing a lot more people hiring for those soft skills that you talk about and then training the harder skills, which is great.
100%.
Well, thank you so much for your time today, Simone. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Moving on, is temporary hiring the clearest indicator of employer confidence in South Australians' job market? Temporary hiring in South Australia is becoming a real-time signal of how businesses are navigating the market. As employers balance workload pressure, budget caution, and uncertainty around long-term demand, short-term hiring activity may reveal where confidence is building, where hesitation remains, and where teams are feeling the strain. To break this down more for us today, we are joined by Principal Consultant of our temp staff from Edge Recruitment, Taran Widows. All right, Taran, thank you for joining us today. What are you seeing in the South Australian job market right now, particularly across temporary hiring?
Yeah, so clients are hiring steadily and job ads are slightly up year on year by 3 to 4% at the moment. Hiring is focused more on a long term fit rather than a quick hire. So the recruitment process is sometimes a bit slower than normal. But temp hiring is covering backfills, leave cover, internal movement, and project based roles, as well as temp to perm opportunities.
Perfect. So there's definitely still quite a lot of temporary activity happening out there. What types of temporary roles are moving most strongly in your market at the moment? So what are you seeing most hired?
So we're seeing a lot of roles in project support, customer
Hmm.
service, government, aged care and housing, property, of course, infrastructure, and my colleagues that work in legal always have a demand for legal secretaries.
Yeah, absolutely. For job seekers, what does the rise in temporary opportunities mean, and what advice would you have for them?
I think be open to starting in a temp role. If you're not working or you've recently moved to South Australia, it's a great way to try out a new industry and start earning, and it can sometimes lead to a long-term role. I guess the other advice would be communication is always key. Always follow up and don't be scared to express interest and get in touch with the employer to get yourself noticed.
Perfect. Thank you very much for your time today. Appreciate that, Taran.
Thank you.
That's all for this week. If you are looking to grow your careers or build your teams, me and my team are here to help. Jump onto the Edge Recruitment social media across LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram if you have anything you'd like to add to the topics we've discussed today. To stay ahead of the job market and be the first to hear about any new property and real estate job opportunities across Adelaide, thank you for joining us for the Property Edge today, and we'll be back soon with our next edition to cover the latest market and employment updates across South Australia. See you then.